I'm 44 years old. And so say I have another 44 years to go, I want to live it lighter. I want to live it more free in a way that it's not wrapped up in things like perfectionism or performance or approval or all the things. Instead, it's just like a grounding in who I am and what I believe I'm here for.
We're back.
We are back.
What?
With a TV network, several shows, a magazine, and a home decor empire, you may feel like you know Joanna Gaines pretty well. But the designer and mother of 5 is opening up like never before in her new memoir, The Stories We Tell.
I think for a while, what I was writing, I didn't even realize was the book. I was journaling. Journaling has always been something I've done my whole life to process thoughts. I would say there was a season, started towards the end of last year, started just talking about, I want to be more intentional and I want to write this down. If I look backwards, the last 10, 15 years, a lot of it just felt like a blur. Just like life happened. It was fast. It was exciting. So much to be grateful for. But then there was something in me that felt so tired. And I was just like, I want to go backwards for a second and really evaluate my life and the story of it and all that has happened. I don't know. I wanted to regain moments that I felt like I'd maybe missed along the way. And so for me, it was that process of trying to really get back and remember. When I think about the earliest age of my memories, a lot of the things that come up are the moments where I switched off and I thought to myself, oh, I can't be this, or I shouldn't be this, or this won't be approved. Like I won't get the approval, that you want as a kid, whatever. So I had to physically, and it was a lot of things I believed that weren't true, that I had to go back and cross out and say, this is the truth. You are worthy. You are and for me, it wasn't just writing and crossing out. It was truly that I had to get to a place where I wouldn't let myself move on until I believed it. I realized as humans, like when we really take hold of our story and write it down, there's so much healing that can come from that. Chip understands me and that I'm such a processor, and I don't know, that's just how I've always been. And so for Chip, with the journey of me writing down my story, I would journal and I'd come out and say, oh my gosh, I just had this insight or this whatever. And he would help me expand on it and he'd push holes in it and he'd say, he would just help me to where at the end, wherever I landed felt right. I realized I can't process alone. So thankfully, Chip has helped me with every step of writing this book as I would read stuff out loud and am I crazy? And, so it was fun. I just felt like I got so much clarity and perspective that was really the gift that came out of that. You'll see that throughout the book of just things I've wrestled with over just with kind of my personality and things that I'm a little more drawn to. When I think about that, I do think sometimes we joke, I'm a control freak. Okay, we don't even joke. It's like anybody in the room they're like, oh, there's Joe. I like to say I just care a lot. But I do default I would say in moments or times in my life where things do feel out of control. For me to feel in control, I've got to zone in on something. And for sure, when business was really hard and I couldn't get my hands around the finances, I couldn't control that. So then I was like, what can I control? Well, I got these 4 kids. They were so young at the time. I was just uptight. I wanted my house to be super clean. And then when we'd have people over, I wanted the meal to be perfect. I wanted the setting to be perfect. And I'd always realize when everyone would leave, why am I tired? Why am I exhausted? Well, to me, anytime the intention is off, it's not life-giving. And so what I realize now looking back, which is why I love that I got to write it down and really see it, is you miss so many moments when you're laser focused on the thing or that's going to bring you, fulfillment because you feel out of control or whatever. For me, I miss so many moments of just simple joys because I was trying to wrestle with something else that I couldn't control. So I think even that alone taught me so much just about sometimes you just gotta let it go, let it be, and no one's going to get hurt along the way. When I decided I'm going to write this down, the one thing I kept seeing in my mind was that picture that you'll see on the inside of the book when I was 6 years old. That was the thing that every time I wrote, I thought about her. I thought about that 6-year-old girl. And, I think as we get older in life, it's like, oh, let's be mature, let's whatever. And I just kept thinking, I kind of want to go backwards in some ways I want to be free like that little girl was at 6 before the world kind of told her who she should be. So for me, it's been a fight to be more childish, more childlike, more full of wonder and less worry. The perspective that shifted for me when I wrote the book, I remember when I wrote kind of the last word, I looked up and I just remember thinking, if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have held I wouldn't hold what I'm holding now, which I think I'm holding empathy, I'm holding perspective, I'm holding clarity. And with that, it's the opposite of where I started. I was blurry in what had just happened to us in the last 10 years and blurry about where the heck are we going with all, like, what's the point? What's the purpose? And when you walk around and you're doing the things you do every day, and you now have that renewed sense of purpose and that renewed sense of gratitude and thankfulness, you see things that you never saw before. And I do say those moments of wonder that I was too busy to look for. Now you crave it. I crave just these simple moments, these little miracles that happened all around us that we can miss. And so in so many ways, I do feel like I'm that 6-year-old again, with just open eyes looking, but also with the grace and the maturity that comes with being 44 years old. So now I feel like I have the best of both worlds. And I just feel like I feel thankful for the process for me. And then my whole hope is, because in the beginning, I never thought I would share this with anyone. But then when I realized in that vulnerability, when you do share your story, if that then inspires one other person to write their story down so they can see that clarity and that purpose in their own life, it's worth sharing your story. It brings connection. And so that's where I just started realizing this isn't just a process for me. I truly believe that we all have these amazing stories that we have to hold. And when you hold them well, that's where life is. That's where beauty is.